How did the two of you meet?
Well, we discussed that. It was about 22 years ago in Heidelberg at the WSRM meeting.
Yeah, I confirm. It was the second WSRM Congress, and in Heidelberg, I still remember very well. Beautiful venue. The weather was not the best because it was very hot, you remember?
Very hot, as were the saxophone players.
Which was your first WSRM or ISRM meeting?
It was the first one in Taipei, and actually I attended first the WSRM and then ASRM. There's a little bit romantic story because in WSRM I met Scott Levin, and he was impressed by a couple of presentations, so he invited me to the American Society the same year. I said, Scott, it's too late. I found, no, we can find a place for you. So it was a very good welcome also in the ASRM.
For me, it was Taipei, and the most memorable thing was that I had a hotel room without any window. And the windows were painted on the wall. So it was a great meeting to see all of the guys again, but a hotel room where the windows are painted on the wall, that's unusual.
How has WSRM changed during your involvement in the organization?
Well, it got better and more attendance. We were fighting in Heidelberg with SARS, so there were only 500, but that was a lot for that time. And I think that the people have less inhibitions to go there and present from all over the developing countries. That changed.
Well, I think that the history of WSRM in some way reflects what is going on with the microsurgery, no? Because some years ago, everybody said, oh, microsurgery is going to die, no appeal, and fortunately it changed completely. And we have now a lot of young people interested. So the paradigm changed a lot, in my opinion, in favor of microsurgery. And this is very good. This time we have 2,000 people. And then it's important what Gunter said. There is attraction to other countries, other continents. And I think that one of the mission on the WSRM is just to spread this also in those countries less lucky than us. And because they have individually, they have very good surgery. They don't have reserves. So it's our mission to help them, I think.
What do you think is the most important contribution and or innovation of our specialty?
As any relatively young specialty, we have innovation every year. So we had the important things like, I don't know, Coupler, for example, Ezoscope, Simani, the robot. So talking about the technical achievement. And then, of course, there have been so many improvements in, for example, in lymphedema field, which is probably the most sparkling one. And so it's a long list.
I think there's that's a two-way street. First, technical evolutions, so the microscope gets better. You can do super microsurgery, which you couldn't do 10 years ago. And the second is that still people come up with some innovations in anatomy. Like yesterday, Francisco showed a periosteal flap in the distal radius based on a perforator for the scaphoid. So I take home something new every time, but you know, I think the steps in evolution are getting smaller, but it's still something new every year.
Who are your personal legends or giants in plastic surgery? And if you would also care to share why.
Well, it's Hans Steiner, who was my mentor and who was one of the pioneers in Germany. And the thing, he was open for the world. He came from Melbourne and came with an open-minded mindset. And that is something that I learned from him. And I think I followed that pretty well. And the second is the persons who influenced me was my boss in the US, Robert Russell, who was an exquisite surgeon, and on top of that, just a great guy. So these are the two people, and Lister.
Yeah, I agree with Lister. Lister was one of the best theoretical, one of the best mind, no?
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a mentor, a personal mentor in Italy. He's unknown because he was very shy one, but it was really over the top. So I had a very good education by him. And then, you know, in my country, for example, many things that cannot be done, like dissection. So we have a lot of limitation. So what happened is that now is easy with internet, but at that time I learned in books. So my mentor, Fuchan Wei, Isao Koshima, all this. And for us, almost all the new procedure that I did, they were learned in the books. So it was very important to have a good book to learn from. And so I'm really very grateful to this, also because they don't only teach me something technical, but they train me to be an explorer in this field.
What is your favorite operation?
Well, fibula. Fibula is the procedure that I've done more frequently. Maybe is the field where I gave a little bit more of innovation. Is my comfort zone. But I'm very attracted by perforator flap. So there are many new things which are in competition with fibula, and if I were younger, probably some other procedure will overcome fibula.
Well, we are still young. If I would be even younger, I would be probably deep into lymphatic surgery. But the favorite operations over the years are the combined chimeric flaps, where we could solve a complex problem by putting together components of tissue on one pedicle. I'm lazy, so I want to do one anastomosis and have 8 different components on the flap. So that was always fascinating me.
What is an operation you no longer perform?
That's a good question. I no longer perform deep flaps because I have partners who do that. So, yeah.
Well, there are some, just have to define some procedure because otherwise it's difficult to say. There are some flaps that I never liked. For example, the parascapular, these flaps for me are difficult. The skin is very thick. But it's a personal opinion, and I have not a good relationships with the gracilis. I don't know why, but I use the gracilis only as a functioning muscle. But with the skin, maybe I didn't understand something. So maybe these are the two things that.
What has been the greatest joy of your professional career?
Well, to be the president-elect of WSRM.
For me, it was the ASRM presidency and the Bunky lecture.
What would you have become if not a plastic surgeon?
CEO of a major company.
A professional explorer. But maybe it's too late to be a professional explorer. In the 2 or 3 centuries ago, that's what I would like to do.